Hi, my name is Doctor Warrick Bishop and welcome to my podcast and videocast station. Really appreciate you joining. And what I also really appreciate is Perry Eckhart, who's Master Franchisor for Australia and New Zealand, has joined me again. For those who missed the first interview with Perry, go back and listen to it because it was worth listening to. We talked about OsteoStrong, how Perry became involved, a little bit about his own journey because his family had health-related issues, his own efforts to maintain good health and health span as much as possible. So check it out. But for now, I'm going to welcome you, Perry. How are you?
Thanks, Warwick. Lovely to be here again.
Look, I really appreciate your time. And in these days, everyone's time is valuable. I don't think I've met anyone in recent time who's not been busy. So I really do appreciate you taking the time. And for those listening, I also really appreciate you taking the time to listen. What I'd really like to talk about today is we spoke about OsteoStrong, axial loading, building bone strength, muscle strength, the Spectrum machines, and that really controlled delivery of an adaptive response to help people through the OsteoStrong program, the core program. But we also do much more. We've got other technologies. And those technologies there are four main technologies. And what I might do, Perry, is throw it over to you. I'll list them quickly and maybe we'll talk about the massage beds, the special boots, the electromagnetic mats that we've got, and the red lights, which all sounds pretty science fiction, but talk me and the listeners and the viewers through the hydro massage beds that you'd find in our centres.
Sure. So what we talked about last time is effectively chasing people with four big dinosaurs. We've got these four big machines called Spectrum, and they're very unique because they put people in a fight or flight mode, which is our autonomic nervous system. It's a very ancient, primitive brain state that goes back. It's a survival mechanism. And when you do that, you flood the body with growth hormones and testosterone, and bones and muscles grow stronger as a result. The upside of that is we've already talked about, but the downside is you upregulate cortisol. And cortisol, systemic cortisol, creates a stress environment, and it causes inflammation, and it damages bone, it damages muscle, and it causes all sorts of psychiatric problems too. We are always stressed. We're always switched on today. We're always looking at our mobile phone, and we're just never able to just relax. So women in particular, they multitask very well, and they're always doing a million things. They're always thinking about a million things. So the technologies that we offer at OsteoStrong centres are purposely designed to take people from the parasympathetic nervous system process to relax them down, reduce their cortisol, increase the feel-good hormones that will reduce the stress and the inflammation. So the sympathetic nervous system, parasympathetic nervous system work together, and it's important that these technologies do for everyone the same thing. So it's about improving blood flow, improving the oxygen supply and the removal of waste nutrients. So soft tissue movement's very important. So a massage is one of the best things you can do for that. So our hydro massage bed is designed to move soft tissue, move lymph fluid, which is outside of your blood circulatory system, and it's very good for anti-inflammation. Then we have red light therapy, which also improves blood flow. It improves collagen production, so it reduces wrinkles in people's faces. We see skin improvements. It's a very interesting technology. It's very new.
I'll jump in there before you leave the hydro massage beds. They really are quite exceptional. They're one doesn't want to disclose too much, but they're an expensive bit of kit. They literally shoot like water jets through at you through a membrane. Obviously, you don't get wet, but these very powerful jets of water massage your body. You lay on your back and have this amazing sensation. And I don't think I've ever seen a person come out from a hydro massage without a smile on their face, and if it's their first time, a look of, I don't know, a dreamy look of enjoyment from this beautiful bit of apparatus that is a wonderful tool to finish I hesitate to call it an exercise session, but one of the program sessions through a Spectrum machine. This hydro massage bed is a beautiful way to finish that off, actually.
Yeah, it's a equivalent to a 40-minute massage by four people. So you do it in 10 minutes, and it's like 14 hands running up and down your back. It's the right temperature, so it mobilizes the blood flow. Very enjoyable. I've had lots of offers to trade husbands in on them. Most ladies do that, and a lot of men actually have never had a massage. They don't like getting undressed and having a stranger touch them. So a lot of our male members, it's a unique experience. They've never felt a massage, and they come out and they go, "That's it. The wife's gone. I'm trading her in." So
Yeah, they're a beautiful bit of kit. So
yeah,
if anyone's curious, you should go and check it out. The
correct.
Before you go too far down the red light therapy, I had the chance to review a little bit of stuff around red light therapy couple of years ago, and it was in the context of Parkinson's, and that was because I had a particular reason I wanted to explore Parkinson's. And it turned out at the time, a local Tasmanian politician called Max Burr had been putting red lights into a bucket that he put on his head to help his Parkinson's. Now, this all again sounds very science fiction, but it turns out those red lights emit a wavelength, and I'm sure you're across all this, Perry, but I'm just filling in the people who are listening, emit a wavelength of approximately 650 nanometers. So it's a particular wavelength from a particular color red. And that wavelength penetrates the skin, penetrates the cells, and literally goes into the mitochondria to hit a component of the electron transfer chain called cytochrome P. And that wavelength activates cytochrome P, producing more electrons, producing more energy for the cell, which just it's fabulously interesting, isn't it?
So the theory to that is, obviously, we used to, when we were primitive, we used to sit around a campfire or a fire at night and a fire in the morning. We watched the sunrise and we watched the sunset, and we got red light into our retinas. We didn't have ophthalmists that told us that you don't stare at the sun, and people would watch the sunrise and they'd watch the sunset. And the science is reversed now. People are being encouraged to seek red light in the early morning and late at night, because it helps with sleep. It helps regulate your circadian rhythm, and it's certainly a powerhouse for your mitochondria, as you've mentioned. And a lot of diseases are resulting from weakened mitochondria. Perhaps you'll tell the folks what mitochondria are, because it's not human DNA, they're bacteria that live inside us.
Well, indeed. And in fact, mitochondria are the only thing you inherit from your mother.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a very interesting energy source for every cell in our body. We get them entirely from our mother, and as Perry says, their origin is almost certainly from microorganism, and that probably means that those microorganisms were floating around in algal pools
Oh,
millions of years ago, and that red light from the sun at the time was instrumental in giving them some of the energy they needed to grow, develop, and evolve, and eventually evolve into organisms like us. So it is an extraordinary.
so that's the theory of red light. It certainly goes back to primitive times when we used to, and now we use white lights, and we watch screens with white light late at night, and we undo all the very good things that we potentially could do. So, if you can get a red light, even if it's just a desk mounted one, and use it all day, every day, you certainly improve your mitochondrial health. The third piece of equipment we use
Oh,
is
before you jump onto the boots,
Yes.
Just another personal endorsement. I love the red light. So the
Mm.
red light therapy, I think, is just wonderful. It's like sunbathing, actually. It's a beautiful bit of tech, and it diminishes inflammation. It's good for healing. I think it's good for calming, and as you say, circadian rhythms and various other things. It's just a really nice bit of technology.
Mm.
We have panels in the center, and those panels are a couple of feet long, foot wide, and you literally get most of your gear off and expose yourself to this beautiful light.
We get a lot of people with acne or scar
Yeah.
tissue, wounds that won't heal,
Yep.
and we get great results from red light for those people.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
That's right. The
I
flow.
always jump into the boots. The boots are just so cool. And some people may have, as Perry's talking about these, think back for those who are listening and watching, think back to if you've seen a sports event and they've cut to the change rooms, and you might see some of the athletes actually wearing these boots. So Normatec boots, Perry, tell us about them.
Yeah, Normatec compression boots are designed to, if you could imagine a sausage that you're squeezing the sausage mince out of the skin, the boots use compressive technology, compressed air, to massage you starting at the toes, moving up to your hips. And we have a blood flow system in our bodies, but we also have a lymph flow, and we have fascia, and we have muscles, and there's fluids in all of those that are particularly important for chemical signaling and hormone transfer and energy flow. So a lymphatic massage is one of the best things you can possibly do for your leg health. There are some centres, I'm not sure if your centre has the hip unit. Some centres have hips and arms, but in our main centre, we just have the legs. You lie on a bench and you lie on a bed, I mean, and these Normatec boots basically just compress you from the feet up, and then they relax and the blood flows back in, and then it does it again, and it goes through a number of cycles in 10 minutes. We get police women who are carrying heavy utility belts and they're on their feet all day, and they get swelling of the lower extremities and their feet ache and their legs ache. They come in and they do a Normatec session, and for the next 2 or 3 days, they feel fantastic. So it certainly reduces inflammation, it's soft tissue massage, it's lymph flow, it's blood flow, energy again.
We I think there's nice, they've actually done some research around it, which I'm sure you're aware of, but improvements in flexibility in the legs and improvements in recovery for people who have, undertaken strenuous activities. So we have a couple of athletes who come in and will use these boots after a strenuous exercise session to help in their recovery. They're really very, very cool, but they make you look a bit like the Michelin Man on your legs, but they're very effective. And some of our members really rave about them, particularly getting rid of some of that swelling and
Cellulite.
sometimes, yeah, and really often really nice results for people with a little bit of arthritis around their knees. They'll often report a little bit of benefit from that as well, which is really nice.
Blood flow.
So
Where blood flows, energy goes. It's an important factor.
absolutely. So what I'd like to do is invite you to finish on pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, which is a heck of a mouthful, but
Hmm.
can you deconstruct that for the people listening? Pulsed electromagnetic field therapy, who would have
PEMF,
thought?
PEMF. So going back to the late 1800s, there was a fellow called Mesner who was training patients with mental illnesses to trees, and it's where the term tree huggers came from. And they were getting incredible benefits for these people with all sorts of ADHD and schizophrenic diseases because they were earthing people to the magnetic field of the earth. One of the problems today is we're always insulated from the earth's magnetic field, and we are essentially electronic beings. I mean, people think we eat food and we use the food, the fat, the macro nutrients, the fats, the proteins, and the carbohydrates. But the reality is we don't. We can't use the food that we eat. We actually put it into our gut, and our gut bacteria break that food down into essential components, and then that gets transported around the body by our blood, and that gets to mitochondria, who convert that energy into ATP, which then goes into our cells, which uses it for electricity. And the electricity is what powers our muscles. So we're actually electrical beings. So if we get a slight positive charge, it affects our health. And static electricity, just through moving through the air, by wearing insulative rubber shoes, by standing on carpets, by driving in cars that not touching the ground. You know, not many of us garden anymore. We're not out regularly touching the ground. And so there's been a big move towards looking at earthing as a way of improving overall health. There's a great doco on Netflix about a Canadian community that got under their houses in winter and dug holes and earthed themselves, and they reversed arthritic conditions. They got people out of wheelchairs. Their whole community got into it, and they had dramatic results. So pulsed electromagnetic field mats create a magnetic field that puts your brain into a particular brainwave state. So you can go from a highly stressed state to a very relaxed state, or a very, very relaxed state into a sleep state. So your brain waves, alpha, beta, delta, respond to your awake, alert sleep cycles. So there's a combination of factors happen with the PEMF mats. It earths you to the same earth as the ground, which is very, very important to reduce inflammation and improve all sorts of health indicators. And it also is part of the goal of these rejuvenative technologies to reduce your brain state from a stress state down to a relaxed state. So I say to people, after you've been chased by our big dinosaurs, we do these amazing things. We put you in a meditative state. And whether it's one technology or all three or four, it's 10, 20, 30, 40 minutes of meditation. It's something that most people don't do. We don't meditate anymore. When you meditate, you get an increase in IQ. You get an overall benefit to your metabolic health. There's so many benefits of meditation. So there's a meditative effect. There's also reducing your cortisol, which brings that back down so that your bones and muscles can benefit from your osteogenic loading session. So the primary purpose of those four pieces of equipment, apart from some incredible other benefits that they provide, it's the meditative state that puts you in a relaxation mode. And so that when you walk out of OsteoStrong, most people go, well, I'm not really sure what I did. I did some machines, but it was only, a few seconds on each, and I didn't exhaust myself. I'm not sore. I'm not tired. I'm not dizzy. I'm not sweaty. And then I've had this wonderful experience with a massage and a Normatec boots and the red light, and I'm buzzing and I'm relaxed and I'm just that calm state, and I feel really good. And that's most people that walk out of an OsteoStrong say to me, I always feel better when I walk out than when I walked in.
So true. So true. Perry, we again have been able to fill a podcast session without any problems at all. Been a delight sharing. Thank you so much.
Welcome again. Thank you for having me.
For those listening, I hope you got that. We got massage beds, we got boots, we got red lights, we got pulsed electromagnetic field therapy you can find at your local OsteoStrong centre. There's 8 around the country. Check it out on the website. If you've got any queries or questions or even any suggestions for a future podcast, please let me know. I'd love to help out. Till next time, again, really appreciate you listening, and hope you live as well as possible for as long as possible. Take care and bye for now.